the London game. The Baltimore Ravens, Tennessee Titans. Ravens 3-2. The Titans 2-3. Ravens favored in this game -4. Over under 41.5. Money line Baltimore -210. Tennessee +170. Ravens lost last week to the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look too particularly good, right?
Don't.
Like you thought their offense was going to be more explosive. I believe Odell Beckham Jr. is hurt again. So it's a weird sort of circumstance in dealing with the Baltimore Ravens. We know they're a solid team, but it feels like they can win or lose on any given week. Dev, I'll start with you. What are you looking at in this game? Do you trust anybody in this game?
So I like the Ravens in this one. I like the Ravens covering that 4-point spread. Even though it is in London. So the Ravens actually flew out to London like right after their game on Sunday. So it's not like they're getting in, a day before and have this quick turnaround with the time difference, which I should add, I feel like everyone makes a really big deal of these London games. It's like a 5.5, 6 hour flight if you're on the East Coast.
From the East Coast, yeah.
From the West Coast, it's a whole different story, but it really isn't like a massive change. So I don't think it should affect a team that much, especially if they've been there all week. And Baltimore just blew multiple opportunities in Pittsburgh, even though I was okay with it because I had the Steelers covering that spread last week. But it was a division game, playing the Steelers at home. Mike Tomlin's going to do what Mike Tomlin's going to do. And the Ravens have so many injuries that I think they're going to be frustrated from that loss and kind of letting it slip away. And they're going to want to come in to this one really strong. And I think they're better than the Titans. I think Lamar Jackson, he threw an interception the fourth quarter last week. I don't think he's going to do that again. I don't think he's going to make mistakes like that against this Titans team.
I think I might go opposite this game. I think I might go with Tennessee. And the reason I say that, because Lamar Jackson at this point doesn't have his horse in the race. He does have his tight end. He got Andrew, but I don't see him really taking it to the next level as far as Zay Flowers and stuff like that. That's his go-to right now. But he doesn't really have anybody else to go to. So it's really hard for me because that offense is just so putrid at times that I just can't get with him. I like even though Derrick Henry has really done nothing this year, I think
he really hasn't. It's kind of crazy.
Nothing. I mean, he's done nothing.
Yeah.
So I think Derrick has a game, being overseas and him going out and hand the ball off, Ryan. That's all you have to do is just hand the ball off, give it to him. Their defense has been okay. They're better at stopping the pass than they are the run. So I'm going to go with that simply because, Andrews, yes, they're going to bracket cover him, and they're going to leave Zay Flowers, who's a rookie. They're going to leave him open to, see if he can do something against that defense. Other than that, I don't see anything else, appetizing as far as, why this Ravens team is better than them. I just don't see it. So, coaching.
So you think the Titans can cover the 4-point?
Yeah, I think Titans will cover. Ravens will win, but Titans will cover.
Okay, so you got to be in a really tight game over there.
Really tight game, yep.
Over at London, it's, again, the London games and the Thursday games always seem weird. They always seem to not have the statistical outcomes that you would expect those teams to have. And Derrick Henry, is he close to the running back wall? 29 years old right now. Usually running backs hit it around 29, 30. Derrick is a big, powerful back. Big, powerful back usually go a little bit quicker.
Yeah, a lot of reps.
Is it one of those situations, or is it just the Titans team isn't as good? But Derrick Henry.
I think it's a little bit. The Titans team isn't good, but it has a lot to do with the reps he's taking, and he's becoming Mr. Glass. So, it's tough when you've taken as many reps as he's taken, been that workhorse for that long. And it's starting to catch up with him. His body just can't take the toll that he took when he was younger.
Let me ask you guys this. If I was to do a single game parlay and I was going to pick, and this is sort of based on the running game, Lamar Jackson over 42.5 rushing. Put that in there. He had, I believe, 45 last week, and it seems like he has to do everything himself. Derrick Henry 65.5. Go over on Derrick Henry going over 65.5. And maybe Lamar Jackson with one pass touchdown. If that was a 3-leg parlay, would y'all take it or would y'all pass?
I don't know. I don't know if I like the number for Derrick Henry. Just because he's been 65? So... it's not super high number.
He had over 100 the week before that.
I don't know. Would you take it?
I think I would take it. To me, Henry, he's going to have to be their workhorse. Even though, I just don't understand why that offense isn't running as well as it should be. I mean, they have weapons. I just don't. What are they doing, man? So he's got to be the staple in it. I think he will be over 65. So I would go with it. Tannehill getting a touchdown. That's throwing a touchdown. That'd be the weakest part of the parlay for me.
Well, Lamar. I had Lamar throwing a touchdown.
Lamar.
You think that would be weak?
Oh,
yeah. I got Lamar throwing a touchdown.
okay.
Derrick Henry over and rushing, and Lamar over and rushing. 42.5, 65.5.
Oh yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah. No question. I thought you said Tannehill. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I ain't going Tannehill for nothing in any type of way. Trust me on that. So, I'm gonna go Baltimore winning this game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go money line.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like it could be a super tight game, and I could
Yeah.
see the Titans covering. But again, this is a game that I'm unsure of that can go either way because neither one of these teams is balling for real. And it seems like there's only like 3 teams in the entire league that I feel have been consistent.
Yeah.
I'll also go with Nelly for over 15. Was it Nelly for over
15?
18?
Oh.
I'm sorry, 18 and a half.
I like that.
Nelly.
He had 64 last week.
Yeah, Nelly
like
over
Only had
18
4
and a half.
targets, but had 64 last week. So,
Yeah.
that could be a definitely a good one. A definitely good single game
Right,
parlay there. All right, let's go to the next game. Let's go to the Commanders-Falcons. Another 2 teams that are just, all right, middle of the road competitive. Sometimes you look good. Sometimes you look bad. But it seems like a whole lot of 8-8, 8-9 type of ball. Commanders 2-3, Falcons 3-2. So both teams on the way to doing that. The Falcons look like they are scheduled to win this game. -2.5. Over unders 42.5. Money line -145. Washington +125. Barrett, I'll start with you in this game. Again, this is a story of Sam Howell. It seems like the Commanders. When he has a good game, they win. When he has a bad game, they lose. And he has more bad games than good games.
Absolutely.
What do you like from this game?
Well, I'm gonna go from the defensive side of the ball, man. I really think that at this point that the Commanders' defense is not playing up to par. They got one of the best front fours in the league, and they just haven't stepped up the way I thought they were gonna step up. So, I'm still gonna go with the Commanders. I'm gonna go with the Commanders on this because I don't think you can run the ball. You can pass on them, but you're not gonna be able to run on them. And going forward, Sam Howell, I'd go with the under 241 yards and a half yards. I will go with the under with that.
Okay. What you got?
So I think I like the Falcons -2.5 in this one. They beat the Texans.
That was a good game for PlayStation.
Yeah, they beat the Texans, of course, in a last-minute win. But I just think they have the better defense in this situation.
Yeah,
I like
do.
the matchups. Washington is not good against tight ends, so I like the Logan Thomas anytime touchdown and his over receiving yards. I need to check the number on that because I haven't looked at it. 36.5 receiving yards for Logan Thomas. I'll take that. And I know Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier on the Falcons are 2 guys who I feel like every week I include in some sort of parlay just because it's fun to take their over, but they do split the carries, and Bijan wasn't as. Actually, neither of them were super, super productive last week. But I did like Bijan Robinson getting a touchdown in this one as well. Algier hasn't really been able to crack more than 3 yards per carry in 4 straight games. That's not great. I don't know if this is going to be his breakout game. So I like big games for the Falcons, tight ends, and receivers.
Kyle Pitts. We've been saying free Kyle
Pitts. Yeah, there you go.
Last week, 7 catches, 87 yards. 11 targets is the big thing. 11 targets. And again, that was the one game Desmond Ridder threw for over 300 yards. So Kyle Pitts over under 33.5.
That's a quarterback's best friend is a tight end, man. And I think that's what the productivity that you have with Sam Howell really comes with Logan Thomas. So that's a good bet, going with him.
Would you take that Kyle Pitts, 33.5?
I would take that.
Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. They both combined for 154 yards last week.
Whoa. Is this true, Kev? Our producer just wrote in our chat. Desmond Ridder is 31-0 in college and the NFL as a starting QB at home.
I heard them say that on the broadcast, actually, and I was like,
what?
I literally heard
How is
them
that
say
possible?
that. And I was like, that's not right. It can't be what?
31-0 at home?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, he threw for over 300 last week at home, but what? 150 for Minnesota, plus 125 for Chicago. But again, that line of Justin Jefferson being out is a big, big deal for me. I don't know what Kirk Cousins looks without a top flight wide receiver, because he's had a top flight wide receiver for his entire career in Minnesota. He had Justin Jefferson. Before that, Adam Thielen was still really good, and he had Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
What does he do now? Dev, what do you see from this game?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that, Jefferson is out because Chicago's defense isn't great against other opposing wideouts. So could be a big game for Jordan Addison if you want to take his props. I know that weather is potentially a factor in this game and several games. I guess it's supposed to rain like in a lot of areas of the country. I'm not a meteorologist, so I need to, check the update on that. But I did hear that Chicago is expecting bad weather, which means that we might not see a pass-heavy game, which would be good news for Justin Fields. Can use those wheels. I like the Bears in this one. I think the Vikings are a little defeated. Losing Justin Jefferson feels kind of like the final nail in the coffin on them, on their season.
Yep.
There have been reports that they might move on from Kirk Cousins. Like, that can't be good for team morale. Meanwhile, the Bears are coming off, a massive win over the Commanders, plus an extended break because they played in Thursday Night Football. So I like the Bears covering that 3-point spread.
And you said weather is supposed to rain and have 17-mile-per-hour winds in Chicago.
Not great.
I'll tell you what, the safest bet is Kirk Cousins over 2.5 yards rushing. He's going to be running for his life. I was like, Kirk? He doesn't have that go-to guy, so he's going to be scrambling, trying to get open. I do like Osborne. What's his name? KJ Osborne, over 39.5 yards. I think he'll be the guy that's going to step up for him. I think TJ Hawkinson is also a safe bet with 54.5.
I like that one.
So, those two I think will be safe bets. I would not bet on rushing yardage with Cam Akers. They're gonna more things. They're gonna try to stop him. He'll be the even if it's only 25 yards, 25.5 yards, they're gonna primarily want to stop him. And if they stop him, that makes Kirk Cousins now the guy that's gonna have to hose it around. He just didn't have the guys he had before. So at this point I like the Bears. I think I'll take the Bears and the points.
We all together. I like the Bears and the points too. Again, the Vikings have been losing and not playing very well already.
Right,
the Chicago Bears look like, in their last two games, offensively, they look like
they're
they
improving.
got something,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Like, they're explosive in the last two games. Their offense has been, while, again, they have to adjust to life without Justin Jefferson, at least for the next few weeks. I love TJ Hawkinson.
Me too.
Security blanket without no Justin Jefferson. Now,
I keep telling you, that's always a quarterback's best friend. It's a tight end.
Yeah, and I wouldn't make a bet on this game until I finally see the weather right before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sorry. I'm looking at our producer, Kevin, who is from Chicago, and he's like, the line has moved in favor of Minnesota. Why? Make it make sense. But he did also say Fields over 51.5 is free money, and I agree on that.
Yeah.
So, tail.
Yeah, I like that too. Again, I'm waiting. Because if it's raining a lot, I want to go DJ Moore 57.5.
I really like DJ Moore props, but I kind of hesitated in pushing any receiving props, even though I mentioned Jordan Addison because he's probably Kirk Cousins' only option at this point. But yeah, if it's raining a lot and windy, then we're not going to see that. Yeah. I would not bet over receiving yards or passing yards.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Again, wait until 1 o'clock hits and go, all right, it's good enough for Justin Fields. Because even I immediately said I want Justin Fields for over 195.5 just because he's been way over that in the last two games of the season.
Yeah.
But again, rain. So it's one of those things where you got to wait. But I'm with y'all. Bears going to win this game. Bears going to win easily. Let's go to the next game. Seahawks Bengals. Seahawks 3-1, looking good. You know what I mean? Doing their thing. The Bengals 2-3. Bengals struggling but looked really good last week. And the Bengals over the last two seasons have struggled in September.
They have.
And then taken off in the end of October, November, December. So that's what this game is. Cincinnati favored in this game 2.5. Barrett, what do you like from this game?
When I look at this game, I see a team that hasn't lost. I see a Seattle team that hasn't lost since the first week. So they're on a roll. But I also see a Bengals team that they're also starting to get on the roll. And when I look at, Geno Smith, he is solid, man, on how, he has two great receivers he's throwing to. He's solid. So Geno Smith, 238 yards and a half. I like that. I like that number. I would go with that. Joe Burrows, he's going to get over 300. You know what I'm saying? With 277.5, I'll go with that also. You know what I mean? Both quarterbacks will be great in this game. It's about whose defense is going to stop who, and I really like Seattle's defense more so than I like Cincinnati's defense. So I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati on this.
Where do you put Seattle in the hierarchy in the NFC?
Seattle right now, they're mid-pack, middle of the way. They're middle of the way.
Would you put them above or below the Lions?
I would actually put them above the Lions.
You would?
Yeah,
okay.
I would put them above the Lions.
I put them below.
The Lions are just, we'll get to their game. I can't figure out if I'm worried about them or not.
I am worried about them because they're not being consistent. And plus, they're having so many injuries at unopportune times.
Yeah.
So
I'm on the Seattle's kind of fraudulent. I'm being honest with you. I think Detroit is good, but not. They don't have a ceiling to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like some teams have a ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a ceiling to mess with the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a ceiling to mess with the 49ers. Like they don't have to. They can play b-ball and beat the Lions, in my opinion, and the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
But if you play terrible, they can get you. And
right.
You know what I mean?
If you don't come ready to play, they can get the Eagles. I think
Lions,
and 49ers.
Seahawks are your 3 and 4 seeds,
right?
In this game. So what do you like in this, Dev?
So I like the Bengals in this one. We talked last week about Joe Burrow needing to get right game in the Bengals pass game.
Right.
Yeah. And it seems like they've kind of been starting to get back into rhythm. He and Jamar Chase. Chase almost had 200 receiving yards last week, so I think that'll continue. The Seahawks have a bottom 10 secondary. I don't know if we know if T. Higgins is definitely going to return or not, but that would also be really big for Cincy's offense. I don't know if we have an update on that.
I don't see.
But either way, I like the Bengals covering those 2.5 points. And they're playing at home. I think the crowd's going to be fired up, coming off a game where they finally kind of started to look right. So, yeah, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and the Bengals to cover.
Yeah, I like the Bengals too, man. I just think if Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow, he's winning this game. And it looked like he was Joe Burrow last week. If Joe Burrow is healthy and he's slinging that thing and he's feeling good and he's playing well, plus it being at home. If they was in Seattle, I would have a different pick for this game.
Oh, for sure. Because they have such a good home field advantage. Kevin says that T. Higgins is looking promising. So that would solidify my pick right there if he plays.
Practice all week, he's playing. So and I guess we're on Cincy you're on Seattle.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at, Tyler Lockett, 51.5. To me, that's a safe bet. And I think Noah Fant, 21.5. That's easy money right there. That's easy money. So, I think Geno Smith is playing well enough that he can make both of those guys shine. I wouldn't press the issue with DK Metcalf over 62.5. But, I really think that those two bets, Tyler and Noah, are safe bets.
I'm with you. All right, we'll see. Let's go to the next game. Brock Purdy's.
He calls them the Brock Purdy.
The San Francisco Purdy's.
Are they your team? Are they your childhood team, or?
Oh, I love them.
Do you just like them because they don't like the Eagles, or?
No, it has nothing to do with Eagles. Before the Eagles the 49ers were my favorite team to watch before the Eagles had beef with them, because my favorite position is the linebacker position.
Oh, so you must hate the Eagles then.
It pisses me off. It pisses me off. All right, at least TJ Edwards was good, but it pisses me off that they don't pay attention to it.
They really don't.
You don't pay attention to it. And the 49ers they make me feel young again when you watch them having fullbacks and linebackers. I enjoy that type of football fullback of the 90s and 2000s. I enjoy that. So I love watching the 49ers play, which is why I watch them play. There's 4 teams throughout the league that I'm like, I want to watch you play all the time. And the 49ers are probably my favorite of those 4 teams because of just how they play. Just their brand of football.
I feel you on that. I feel you that because Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis was the best linebacker tackle tandem I've ever seen in my life. Those two played the linebacker position the way it's supposed to be played, and look at the guys they got now.
I had a Patrick Willis jersey. My favorite guys growing up, Patrick Willis, Jeremiah Trotter. Had one of those. I had a Jesse Armstead jersey. I love the linebacker position. Mm-hmm. It's just, you know what I mean?
Just down and dirty people.
Yeah. Just smack you right in your mouth. Mm-hmm. 49ers, which this is the thing that makes me mad, because I bet on the Niners every week. The spread to this game on Monday was 5.5. Mm-hmm. It is now at 10. Obviously, Deshaun Watson's not playing. Shoulder done. But you could have got a great bet on this game at 5.5. And I think Kev said it may have been even lower at one point at 4.5.
Wow.
So
missed the boat on that
you
one.
missed the boat on that. But again, we've been talking about blowouts.
Yeah.
This is another game to me that I'm like, well, if you ain't got no Deshaun Watson and you're throwing out, I don't know which quarterback they're going to throw out at this, whether it's the rookie,
PJ Walker.
Whether it's the rookie, it's going to be PJ. So, I think this game is going to be a flat out blowout. What do you think of that?
Well, so I don't know. Like, had Deshaun Watson played, would that make a massive difference? I mean, he was starting to look better. The Browns do have a really good defense. But yeah, I mean, the 49ers, I hate to say it, they're looking pretty dominant. And against a Browns team that is going to have PJ Walker at the helm, QB, and it might be rainy as well in Cleveland. It's going to be rainy at like all these games in the Midwest and East Coast this weekend. They got Christian McCaffrey on the ground. If they don't throw it, I like the 49ers winning. Do I like them covering the 10-point spread? I don't know. I don't know if I would take that, but I also don't know if I'd confidently say the Browns are going to cover.
Defense.
So maybe money line?
Yeah. Might not be a safe one. Defense. I mean, all I'm going to say is that Browns defense they're going to play well. So, I mean, I would go with the under with Brock Purdy with a 203.5. I would go with 203.5. I would go with the under. I wouldn't.
Wow, Sean's going to like jump across the
right,
table.
Right. And I would venture to say that they're gonna handle even the weapons they have.
Listen,
their defense is tough.
I'm going 49ers over the 10. I'm going over the 36.
49ers, I'm going with the under. Nope, they don't make it. They don't cover. They don't cover, baby.
This is just
we
got to go to break, so you just want to get disrespectful.
They don't
on
cover.
My squad before you get the break.
Here 5, 4, 3.
Okay.
2.
Sunday spread. We'll be right back. Let's get to the games. Let's get to the Saints Texans. Interesting games. CJ has been balling. Saints 3-2, Texans 2-3. Saints favored in this game, even though it's in Houston, -1.5, over under 42.5. Money line -125. Houston +105. What do you guys got in this game? Dev, we'll start with you.
So CJ Stroud has looked really, really good. New Orleans coming off, Bill Belichick in a kind of terrible Pats win, which, we don't hate to see. I have to back the Saints and their, experienced defense against a rookie Texans quarterback, even though CJ Stroud has looked good. He's overdue for an interception, for some turnovers, and I think the Saints defense will do that. I also like the under. I don't think it's going to be a super high-scoring game because of the defensive play. So I like under 42.5 points, Saints covering that 1.5 point spread.
It's a lot of blindness, by the way. A lot of teams where you're just like...
Right.
So how I talk about vibeless teams, like every year, there's like a team that comes out that I find myself just not really wanting to research, wanting to bet on. The Saints are that team for me this year. Like, they're fine, but they're like, I know, is Derek Carr back, by the way?
Yeah, he's supposed to be back.
But like, you see, even that, I'm like, okay, like they're the Saints, like they're there. They're not terrible. They're just vibeless to me.
And they don't have an individual player there. You go, oh, he's going to make that bet every week. Like, he's going to win you money every week. Like, they don't have that. Like, Minnesota is sort of vibeless, I would say, too, the Vikings.
Yeah.
But Justin
especially
Jefferson.
Without Justin Jefferson.
Exactly. Yeah. But he was the one guy you go, all right, I can do the Saints. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
They don't have an individual player.
Like,
Well, to tell you the truth, when you say that, it's because that team has had the same squad for the past 3.5 years, 4 years. Everybody's still there. They bring in rookies, like Chris Olave when he first got drafted. Like I'm gonna go with the points. Him and Carr have a nice little chemistry going on with 56.5. I'm gonna go with that. That his receiving yards. Alvin Kamara, I think is a safe bet with 28.5. Michael Thomas. I don't know if I can go with his numbers, but I'll tell you this though. CJ Stroud has made Nico Collins. He's put me in a position. I might go ahead and go with, Nico Collins at 55.5 and also Robert Woods 41.5 because he has played that well. Mm-hmm. And the defense, they can rush the passer and, Saints defense can rush the passer, but I don't know if they can necessarily get CJ Stroud and put him in a position where he played like a rookie. So, I mean, this is a tough game, but I'm going to just have to go with the Saints, go with Saints and and the points. I'm going to go with Saints.
From my understanding, C.J. Stroud, one of 2 quarterbacks not to throw an interception yet.
Right.
As a rookie.
As a rookie.
As a rookie, which is crazy. Oh, the other quarterback's Brock Purdy, by the way. But yes.
Thank you.
He ain't even have to be involved with this whole conversation. He didn't even have to be involved.
But I guess I'm going to go with the Saints too, even though, again, I pick against the Texans every week. And they've proven me wrong, obviously, because they played so well. But I'm going to go with the Saints and think that at some point you are going to throw an interception and there's going to be a rookie mistake, especially with the Saints defense that is a good defense. So I'm going with the Saints also. Again, vibeless, like you say, Dev. So there's no individual that I'm like I want to say Alvin Kamara will get over 28.5 passing yards.
That'll be a safe bet.
Well, so this is how vibeless they are, at least to me. Who is the Saints starting tight end? Seriously, who is it? Because whoever it is, bet over, because the Falcons got the ball to their tight ends a lot playing against the Texans. So yeah, that's all I got.
I don't even know. I was like, who is their tight end again?
So a stat that stood out to me though about the Saints defense is that they haven't allowed, and that's why I like the under. They haven't allowed more than 20 points in 12 of their last 13 games, and they've held opponents to under 200 yards passing. So
that's a great stat.
Don't expect a lot of offensive efficiency from the Texans.
That's a great stat. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to Colts Jaguars. Jaguars. I already know where Barrett's going in this game. But Colts Jaguars, both teams 3-2. The Jaguars look like they got their swagger back out in London. Jags favoring this game by 4, over under 44.5. Jags minus 200 money line. Indy plus 165. Barrett, you going with your man again?
I gotta go with him. I'm going with Trevor Lawrence. And I'm thinking about Travis Etienne.
Ain't no might.
Yeah. I gotta go with him. I can't jump off the ship. I gotta keep.
Yeah, you gotta stick.
I gotta
with
keep
it.
rowing. I gotta keep rowing. You know what I'm saying? But I think the biggest thing, the Jags, their defense, they played well this last weekend. Their defense lit it up a little bit. So I like what they're doing up front. So I'm gonna go with the Jags, and I'm gonna go with the money line also. I'm going to go with that. But Gardner Minshew being with Indy, it changes how they run that offense. I don't know if he's a safe bet to go with, any of the numbers that, he's going to be doing. Gardner Minshew over 235 yards and a half.
Wait, you don't like that?
No.
Can I give a quick interruption to you guys? Kev, thank you. You know who the Saints tight end is?
Who?
Jimmy Graham. Did you know Jimmy Graham is still playing?
No.
Isn't he 45 years old?
Right.
I know we cover the sport and we should know this.
I don't feel bad or stupid for not knowing who it was.
Juwan Johnson is, their main tight end is Juwan Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but Jimmy Graham is still in the league? How old is that man?
Right.
All right, so maybe don't bet.
I need to know if I was the only one who didn't realize Jimmy was still out here playing.
No, I mean clearly not.
Deb, what you got in the Colts Jaguars?
So I actually think the Colts play better with Gardner Minshew than Anthony Richardson. But I think Jacksonville's win over Buffalo last week was huge. And you know what? Buffalo could have lost for a myriad of reasons. We know they flew to London coming off a big win over the Dolphins, but you still have to give credit to the Jags. Trevor Lawrence tore up one of the NFL's best defenses. You have to give him credit for that. So I think he can get his passing game into a right groove after that win. So I do like Trevor Lawrence over 251.5 passing yards in this game. But Barrett, I think Gardner Minshew is going to be better for the Colts offense than Anthony Richardson. However, I'm not going to advocate for him to throw over 230.5, whatever the number is. Right. I'm not going to do Minshew props, but I think it will be a close game. I think it could potentially be a higher scoring game, but I do like the Jags to win and cover.
One thing about this game that's got me looking at it that seems a little shady is, Jonathan Taylor only have 45.5 rushing yards. This will be his second game back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to get way more than 45.5 yards rushing.
Yeah, I think the first game back is always hard when it comes to props. I've decided to just kind of stay away from that when a player first returns because I feel like they usually ease into it.
He was smart for doing it. Yeah, he was smart for doing it.
So, yeah, he could have. Didn't he just sign a new deal for a lot more money?
Fat deal.
like
Could be
41
fired
million.
up about that.
Yeah.
I actually like that too, because again, now that you have your money, you better be a bell cow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You better be a bell cow. What would y'all say about this? Let's do a single game parlay.
Okay.
Once again, always sponsored by BetMGM. A single game parlay of Trevor Lawrence over 258.5.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Ridley of over 60.5. And your boy Jonathan Taylor for a rush for over 45.5 yards.
I like
That's
it.
the sort of one that I like right now.
I would do that.
I like that
Right.
also.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I feel like Calvin, we think Trevor's going to have a good game. Calvin's the number one target. He's going to get 10 targets. That should be 60.5 plus. Right? And your boy Travis on the
75 was
75. Do you like that? You usually go with that. I didn't hear you say.
I'm going with it, but I'm also going with his receiving yards of
20 and a half.
20 and a half.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
not
go
bad.
with that. Yeah.
I feel like running back, receiving props always screw up my parlays.
Let me give you
Like,
a
I need
good
to
bet.
stay away from them.
Right.
It never goes well for me.
Another safe bet I think is Michael Pittman. When you have a quarterback that can throw the ball, he's gonna have Garner's gonna make sure he's gonna go to his main target, Pittman. So,
I like that.
I like it. And listen, Anthony Richardson, we talked about this other day about quarterbacks telling him to chill out.
Mm-hmm.
Chill out, dog.
Well, he can't chill out now. He's
try-
already hurt.
Yeah, trying to truck everybody. He's
Yeah.
going to he's not going to play for a lot of this season.
No.
Because he doesn't know how to change how he plays.
No,
There's
but
real men over there.
that's why, if I was a Colts fan or a Colts coach, I have more confidence in Gardner Minshew because he at least knows how to manage a game, to direct and lead an offense. Where it seems like Anthony Richardson's just kind of going out there and being super chaotic and getting
And I'm
trucked
I'm going to truck you and get hurt while
yeah,
doing so.
right. We should have known when he started celebrating obnoxiously in a preseason game.
Should
have known. Yeah.
I mean, young kid, just 21.
But that's the thing. It screams like young kid. Like,
yeah,
oh,
young kid gonna do
gonna
young
learn.
kid things. I got you. Listen, when we come back, it's going to be the largest spread, 13.5. Dolphins Panthers. How do we feel about that? Bryce Young, just bench him, please. They're putting him in a terrible situation. So Panthers Dolphins, 0-5 Panthers, 4-1 Dolphins. The spread is 14. 14, 2 TDs. This game is in Miami, by the way. The over-under is 47.5. Check out this money line. If you want Miami to win, if you want to pick the money line, don't. It's 10-1. Minus a thou-wow. All right? Carolina plus 625. Don't you dare make that bet.
Don't you dare.
Don't you dare. Dev, is that 14 scaring you, or are you just like, why not?
You know what? No, it doesn't. I would probably take the 14. The only thing that gives me hesitation is garbage time points. Maybe Miami takes starters out at the end like the 49ers did last week, and the Panthers get some points on the board. I know their running back has been doing really well. Devan, I always want to call him A-Chain.
Yep.
He's out, or A-Chan. Yeah,
Apples,
We know who
oranges.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's all fruit.
But this Miami Dolphins offense is just too powerful. They're a juggernaut. I don't see the Panthers haven't even won a game yet. They're in a sad position right now, and I don't see a way that they win or cover 14 points.
Barrett, 14. You doing it?
What?
Yeah.
There's no way that I think this Panthers team will have even a sniff at being close in this game. So, I mean, I won't go with any of the bets as it pertains to the Panthers. Look at Adam Thielen, 57.5. Even though he's the only thing they got cooking in that Panthers offense, he still won't get anything close to that. I just don't see it. Raheem Mostert, I mean, I would take him 13.5 for receiving yards. I think that's a safe bet. I mean, it's crazy how inept that entire team is. They used to have a good defense. They don't even have a good defense anymore. So, no, I just can't see them really competing, and they're going to blow them out by more than 14.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be a rough day at the office.
I'm not scared at all. What is 37-10? You know what I mean? It could be one of those games. The only thing that makes me nervous, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, is not hitting certain player props because they're benched in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Like what happened last week with the Dallas and San Francisco 49ers. So that's the only thing that scares me a little bit. But with that said, I'm still taking Raheem Mostert 67.5. I think that might even be a bonus bet because I think blowout game in the first half, run the ball in the second.
Yep.
Run the ball in the second half. Raheem Mostert's going to be their main guy running the rock. He should get 67.5 yards.
Yeah.
Again, in that 70-20 game, it wasn't like it was a bunch of benchings.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Mike McDaniel was like, keep going.
Yeah.
Well, he said that.
Keep going. So he's not the type to bench the guys.
Yeah.
He's going to run the number up a little bit. So the only way I see Raheem Mostert not getting 67.5 in Carolina is if he's benched.
How do we feel about the points total in this one? Do you like the over 47.5?
I do.
Like Miami could hit that probably.
Yeah, by themselves.
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't?
Because I could see this game being 40-7. I don't think Carolina gets 2 scores, 2 touchdowns.
True.
So it makes without a doubt, Miami's going to get 30 plus.
McDaniel's going, but he's going to score. And when he put up that 7, he said, "It's not our fault. We were just executing. We didn't do anything special. We just executed what we needed to execute." So if they're executing and they're scoring a lot of points, he's going to keep having his guys execute. He say, we don't get paid not to execute. We don't get paid not to be successful. Don't get mad at us because you couldn't stop what we were doing. We were just running what was on the call sheet.
That's true, but still, even if they get 40, this can be under. That's what makes me nervous.
It is a high points total.
Because some teams you go, all right, you're going to score some points.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be down a lot, like the Vikings, but you have enough where you may score 20.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other team may score 40, but you'll score 17-20 playing catch-up ball. I don't see Carolina scoring. And again, I know Miami's defense isn't good, but is Carolina going to score enough to get that?
I think Miami will score enough. I'm
you like they're going to score 50. They'll cover it themselves.
Right.
Another college football final score here.
Yeah.
I mean, the Panthers could, again, like if the Dolphins lighten up and their defense already isn't super, super strong, the Panthers do have the capability of scoring. So it's possible. It's not a best bet for me, the over. I do think Miami has the potential to hit that over by themselves as well. I mean, they put up 70 points.
It's going to be ugly.
It's not going to be a good game, no.
Next game, Patriots-Raiders. Patriots 1-4, Raiders 2-3.
Another bad game.
Let me ask y'all this. Patriots. Is Bill Belichick's job on the line?
Oh,
There's a lot of chatter. You think so? Even despite what he's done, do you think they could fire him?
I think it's more so him, and the mere fact that we're having this discussion has got him thinking, maybe I've outstayed my stay. Maybe I shouldn't be a coach in the league right now. And I think that he would just bow out gracefully because of how bad he's done as far as building a team, number one, running any type of, defense or offense the past 2 years. The decisions he's made as far as coaching staff, I mean, it's been horrendous the past 3 years. So I think he might just call it himself.
You guys know Mike Vrabel is being, I think, inducted or honored
into the Ring of Honor.
And a lot of Patriots fans want him to be the head coach, which if I was a Tennessee Titan fan.
They're doing that?
I don't know if like this week, I think, Tuesday.
He's going to be available for that?
Exactly. That's like
that's next week.
Is it next week?
Next week. They have a bye next week.
Oh,
so since they have a bye next week,
he's
being inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame. They're saying that's like an interview. Kind of like what happened with, here and how they saw our coach in the Super Bowl because he was in town. He just happened to be in town, and they visited with him, and he visited with them while they're in town. So it's kind of the same thing, It
is. And, if I was a Tennessee Titan fan, I wouldn't be happy about that. But
pissed.
I mean.
I'm still pissed about, the Cardinals doing what they did.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. The only thing I'll say is I think Belichick should have quit.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Even last year, I say to myself, because everybody does the Tom Brady comparison stuff. I go, well, Brady got to cherry pick his team afterwards. The coaches don't get to do that. They got to rebuild the whole foundation. If I'm Bill, I'm like, all right, y'all think Tom did it all by himself? Now I'm going to cherry pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to lead the Patriots, and I'm going to pick the best situation I see.
Yep.
I'm going to go to a team who has a quarterback and has the defense and has the things that I like. And then, you know what I mean? And then try to win a championship there instead of having to go through real rebuilds.
They should flip-flop.
What, Bill go to Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah, just trade.
Yeah.
Just a little tradesy.
a little trade. But again, if one of those teams, if I'm Belichick, I say I'm going to the Chargers.
Well,
that guy's about to get fired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got Justin Herbert intact, and I can create a great defense.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be the thing that I do.
Yeah, I could see Bill being like, I can make Justin Herbert the next Tom Brady.
But you know what,
I'll
though?
mold him. So the thing, I just don't see Bill Belichick going out on a low note like this. And that would be why I could see him leaving the Pats and going to a different team.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I would see him just bowing out gracefully, like leaving. They're dysfunctional, the Pats. I mean, we haven't even gotten into our best bets for that game, but like my notes are the under, and the Patriots are dysfunctional right now. They've been outscored by 1 million in their most recent games. The Raiders have a run game, so I think the Raiders are going to win.
Yeah, the Raiders 3.5 over under 41.5. Mac Jones under 207.5.
They're just
That's
so bad.
under.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go under to it. He's got benched in 2 straight games.
Yep.
And I know the Raiders ain't good, but.
And I hate Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, he has been playing putrid. He's throwing picks. I mean, there's obvious picks. I'm like, did he just throw that? What is he doing? And to not have, the involvement of everybody, I mean, he has a squad, man, and he just hasn't done anything for me as far as a quarterback and what he should be doing with the talent that he has.
So do you like the rate? Do you actually like the Patriots to win then?
No.
You don't like
They're just so bad. I can't go with that, I can't go with them at all. No. It's going to be a bad game, man,
It is.
It's going to be a bad. This is actually it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bad game, but I think I don't know. I kind of feel like the Patriots may get an upset here. Because I'm so against, like you said, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
So I think the Patriots with a good defense.
Why does every man hate Jimmy Garoppolo? Is it because he's attractive?
I don't know what color his eyes is. Put it like that.
You don't know if he has green eyes like Travis Kelce.
Good-looking human being. Good-looking human being. I used to like Jimmy. I just think he stinks.
That's what makes me mad because it pisses me off because they'll after he throws the pick, he's got that face. He doesn't have a face that I want to punch, but he has a face that it's like he
So you do hate him because he's attractive.
because exactly. That's what it is.
I like Jimmy off the field.
I don't.
I like his game.
See, I actually, I like
on the field. I don't like him.
Jimmy off the field probably more than like a Travis Kelce.
Right.
But that's also because I'm sick of Travis Kelce right now because of Taylor Swift.
Which is crazy. You're a Swiftie.
I am, and I hate it. I've never wanted a couple to break up more in my life.
Wow, you just want a great album. That's why.
But like, see, that's the thing. What's she even gonna write about? Like, oh, you scored a touchdown. And
You're 87 and not 13.
Right, and I sat next to Brittany Mahomes, who's the most annoying person in the world. Like,
I thought I was gonna get a ring, but only you got a ring.
Oh, right.
Buy herself her own ring.
Okay, so what I mean. That's what we have there. Oh, by the way, Kev says Bill Belichick 18 away from getting to Don Shula.
Oh.
So
18 what?
Wins.
You
So he may stick around.
So he's not gonna hit that by the end of the season.
But again, he may not. He's like, I'm not quitting until I get that. Let's go to the next game. A better game, a good game.
That might take him 5 years. Bro.
Yeah, a highlight game. Yeah. That again, Belichick to the Chargers. Remember I said it. Lions Bucks. Lions 4-1. Bucks 3-1. Detroit favored in this game by 3, even though it's at Tampa Bay. Over under 42.5. Money line 175 for Lions plus 145 Bucks. Barrett, what do you like here?
I'm gonna go Lions because I don't like Baker Mayfield. I think they've really figured him out
because he's handsome.
No, because I hate his commercials. That's what it is.
Do you like Jalen Hurts? God, very attractive player.
You know what? I really think that Baker Mayfield he's run his course with this team. He's maximized his skill set for this team. I don't think they do anything after this, and I really do like the way Detroit, are playing. Say what you want to say. They are a team that's going to be scrappy. They're a team that's trying to play well. Their defense, they have so many injuries. That's why they're not playing up to their capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, do I like the Lions over the Bucks? Yes. Will I go with the points? Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm with you. Deb, what you think? I'm with you on this, B.
This game, I think it's going to be a good game. I had a hard time picking a side here. I do like the Lions covering, especially because they aren't favorites, covering the 3-point spread. I think they match up well. The Bucs are coming off a bye, so they'll be rested. The Bucs defense is 6th in the NFL in defensive DVOA, and the Lions and they're 2nd in pass defense. You know, the Lions offense has been going off. So I don't know if the Bucs defense can contain them, but I just think that, like we talked about earlier in the show, I think the Lions are a scary team in the NFC. And I think they put up more points than Baker Mayfield can. Especially with, isn't Mike Evans out?
Nah, he's on the board.
Oh,
so,
he is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He's on the board.
Well,
But I thought it was out also.
I actually have Baker Mayfield going under 231.5. I think the Buccaneers are a team that will feast on bad teams, get wins off bad teams, but then lose to good teams. It's one of those classic 9-8 squads. You know what I mean? They beat who they're supposed to beat, but they can't beat anybody that's actually real competitive. Like I don't think Baker Mayfield has that much and is able to do that. I think that Detroit is the 3rd best team in the NFC.
Well, let me ask you this then. With Jameson Williams finally coming back, you know, after being suspended, his involvement with the offense now, you know, with Amon-Ra, St. Brown, you got Jameson Williams, you got Josh Reynolds. I think that, you know, and I think that adds to a really potent offense, you know, when you add Marvin Jones to it also. So, I mean, I think they can go over the top and play pretty well. And it's going to open up the offense with him being back now.
Yeah. Again, I don't love either team, but even with that said, I don't trust Baker to just you know what I mean? Like I don't like is Baker going like I feel like Baker can get you a win in a close game that's 17-16.
Yeah.
But you know, if Detroit's gonna be like, nah, we're good, we're explosive and use all them weapons that we just talked about, it's not gonna be close. I don't think this game.
See, I think this is gonna be a closer game.
Okay.
Maybe not necessarily like a shootout or low scoring, but both teams will score a decent amount and it'll be close. The Lions come out on top. That's my prediction.
Let's get to this next one, which is another game. The Cardinals 1-4 at the Rams 2-3. The Rams favored in this game by 7 over under 48.5. Rams -350 on the money line. Cardinals +260. The Cardinals have been feisty. Right? They've been in games. They've been feisty. Rams the same way. They've also been a feisty team. But again, Rams didn't do well in the second half against the Philadelphia Eagles, but they do have Cooper Kupp back, so that should be added offense for them, added explosion. Again, the over-under is 48.5. You think that's going to add to that? Dev, I'll start with you. What are you looking at in this game?
So, no, I don't like touching the points total on this one because I don't trust either of these offenses, mainly the Cardinals, to put up that many points to hit over 48.5. I do like the Rams, and I like the Rams covering the 7-point spread. I think they're the better team. They kept it close with the Eagles. Eagles made defensive adjustments in the end and got the win. But they still contain that Eagles offense pretty well, despite the Eagles offense doing their best to, you know, hurt themselves and not perform in the red zone. But, I mean, you look at what the Rams have. Puka is still going off. Tutu Atwell. Cooper Kupp is back. Like, I just think that they have way too many weapons offensively. And the Cardinals, like, James Conner is injured. They're 1-4. Like, yeah, they've been feisty, but they're not good.
Yeah,
so I like the Rams.
Feisty little team.
I think he's out, too. I think Connors is out. I think
he is out.
He's going to be out, yeah. Okay.
So
it changes things up a lot.
So what do you think, Barrett?
I just think the Rams are just too much for him. You know, just like you said, Cooper Kupp being back and his, you know, second game, 86.5, he'll get that. Thinking about, you know, how are they going to stop that offense? I mean, they just have too much. You know, Tutu Atwell, he's coming out of his shell, you know, 35.5. He's going to get way more than that because they're going to be focusing on, you know, stopping Cooper Kupp and Puka. So, you know, when you look at the amount of weapons that they have, I mean, you don't even think about, you know, covering a guy like Tutu Atwell. You know, you don't think about covering their tight end either. So, you know, it's going to be a game where they don't have enough feistiness to cover everybody that they have. You know, Tyler Higbee is one of the better tight ends in the league. So he'll be an afterthought, which will, make it, I always say tight end is a quarterback's best friend. Mm-hmm. To me, that's a safe bet. 34.5, they'll get that easily. So they just don't have enough defensively to stop them. They just don't.
Okay, let me give y'all a single game parlay. See what y'all think of this. And this is sort of something that I like in this game. Cooper Kupp over 7.5 receptions. Right, it seemed like soon as he came back, it was like, all right, Puka, you still gonna get some catches, but we gonna force feed Cooper Kupp. So Cooper Kupp at 7.5. Josh Dobbs rushing yards 19.5. I think he's gonna be running around a little bit, and that's how he's going to have to get some first downs. And Matthew Stafford over 277.5. That's the one that may be a little tougher.
That's a high number, but I like it. I mean, I don't think the Cardinals defense is going to be able to stop the Rams offense, which their passing offense, especially their passing attack, is really good. So, yeah, I think they're going to put up numbers.
Yeah. What do you think, Barrett?
Especially after losing. They're going to, want to go off at home.
Right. And I think it'll be a big day for Aaron Donald. He didn't get any sacks last week. So he's going to want to go out there and, and they've been talking about him being an afterthought. So I think he's going to go out there and, really beat up on their quarterback. So Joshua Dobbs, he's going to be running for his life. So that's a safe bet for 19.5. He'll give you 20. No, he'll actually give you 40. You know what I'm saying? Running from Aaron Donald. So yeah, to me that's a safe bet. That's a great parlay.
I think he's going to have to get it. Again, the only one that makes me nervous is Stafford. 277.5 is high. But again, Cooper, Puka, I think it's going to be a lot of.
You just combine their names and call him Koopa.
Yeah, Koopa. That trademark it. All right,
if
they become a winning duo, that's what it should be. Okay, Koopa. Let's go to the next game in the slate. Eagles-Jets. Eagles favored by 7. This one is in New Jersey. I don't say New York. I'm from New Jersey. I'm not too far away from where the stadium is, so that's right. You play New Jersey. You're not a New York team.
Even their practice field is in New Jersey.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, quick story, random story. When I was growing up as a kid, I said, I'm going to be a New Jersey Jets fan. Mom goes, said, it's New York Jets. I said, all right, I'm going to be a New Jersey Giants fan. She said, it's New York Giants. I said, F both of them. If they don't want to rep Jersey, I'm not going to support them. I was angry for a long time over that.
So as
a 4 or 5 year old, I was angry for a long time. Eventually, I was
New Jersey doesn't have many. They don't get the credit for the teams that they have.
By the way, the Statue of Liberty is in New Jersey.
Yep.
Yeah. Weren't the Brooklyn Nets the Jersey Nets?
Yeah. They played right.
You can be a Devils fan. They're probably the New Jersey Devils. They're the only professional.
I'm not a hockey guy, but that's the only team that I go. Yeah, I'm a Devils fan. I don't know anything. I don't know anything, but because they're they're only New Jersey team.
Like they have New Jersey in their official name.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm a Devils fan, but yeah, I know Brodeur, but
that's kind of tough because I'm thinking about it. Everything for the 76ers is in Jersey.
It is.
Yeah, but at least they play their games. Their stadium.
Look, if it was up to their owner, I'm sure that they would play all their games in their own stadium in Camden, New Jersey. If not Philadelphia.
Yeah. So. They need to. So, with that said, 7 seems low, to be honest with you. What do y'all think of that? Like 7 in this Eagles Jets game? It seems like this should be a blowout because they can't score.
Well, have you seen the Eagles injury report?
What does it say?
I think here in Philly we've overlooked it a bit because we've been so consumed with the Phillies in the playoffs. So Jalen Carter and Darius Slay did not come to practice today. Yeah. They're both on the injured list and have not practiced, and that is not a good sign for Sunday. And I'm not saying the Jets have this formidable offense with Zach Wilson, but it's not like Zach Wilson isn't good or scary, but they still have people who can catch the ball. Mm-hmm. I just worry that it's a trap game, that they're going to kind of underestimate their opponent, and then they have, some important key players out, especially on defense, and it's going to be closer than we think. I think the Eagles will win. I'm just saying, just something to keep in mind for the spread.
That is a pessimistic Eagle fan.
Look, I'm sorry.
That an Eagle fan that everything is going to be close.
They need to figure out how to get the ball in the end zone and not put it all on Jake Elliott to score all their points. Like, don't settle for field goals anymore. Their red zone offense is so frustrating to me. So until they figure that out, it's just hard for me to be like super optimistic on them covering these. Not that 7's a big spread, but like covering more than a 3-point spread, because they keep going for field goals and going for these tighter games when they could be blowing these teams out if they got touchdowns.
Yeah, and the Jets, I know they let up a lot, but they do have a really good defense.
They have a really good defense.
Really good defense. And then, Bree Hall may be able to do some things. Again, Jalen Carter and Darius Slay not practicing on Friday usually means you're not going to play on Sunday. Barrett,
it's not a good sign.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking neither, Slay or, Jalen are gonna play. Jalen Carter are going to play.
You think they will?
I don't think they'll play.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't think they'll play. But in saying that, my thing is, DeAndre Swift, 65.5. That's a good number. I would go with the over. I would also go with the over with Kenneth Gainwell, 18.5. Jalen Hurts, he's not gonna have to run. So 44.5, I think I would go with the under. But an easy bet, Dalvin Cook, over 14.5. That's like, taking candy from a baby. But I will say this. They're going to beat them by more than 7. So I would go with the over. But, the Jets are just so putrid on the offensive side of the ball. With Wilson, I don't think he's worried about being great. He just wants to survive, man. So, he's not gonna excel.
What a quote to sum up Zach Wilson. He's not worried about being great. He just wants to survive.
Yeah, so
that's a fact.
No, that is a fact.
That's a
Yeah.
fact.
I'm still go with the over.
I would go with the over too. I like Devontae Smith in this game. AJ Brown threw a little, tantrum. So he got the ball 3 straight games.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Devontae being a little annoyed last game, like, all right, like, I need the rock. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, he's not the type of guy to be loud or say anything about it, but you got to appease him too. Dallas Goedert got appeased. AJ Brown got appeased. Devontae Smith's been sort of in the background the last couple of weeks. I think that's where they sort of say, all right, we got to force feed this guy to rock to make sure he's into it. Because when we say everybody gets a turn, we got to make sure everybody consistently gets a turn. So I think Devontae, I you know what I mean? It was a safe bet once AJ Brown went off that they were going to force feed him to rock. I think that they're going to do the same thing with Devontae Smith this weekend. So I think he has a big Sunday against the Jets. You know what I mean? Especially with Sauce probably going to be on the other side with AJ.
Yep.
All right, if Sauce is over there, we're going to line Devontae Smith over here or line him up in the slot a little bit. And he's going to get off in this game. So I think 51.5 is going to be easy money for this one. I like the Dalvin Cook too, like 14.5.
What do we think about Kenneth Gainwell over 18.5 rush yards? I know
that's a safe bet.
Right. I know DeAndre Swift obviously has been incredible, but I do feel like they need to lighten up his workload a bit, or
that's
should.
Exactly. You hit it. Yeah, you hit it right on the head.
Yeah. And 18.5 is low.
Yes.
So.
Well, I just really think they're going to do that simply because it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. They're going to have to take some of that, load off Swift, and he's cool right around 15. But once you start getting up to 20, you saw what happened to Miles Sanders. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. And the Jets have a good secondary, so.
Exactly. They're not going to pass. They're going to run it. Yep.
Right.
And if you think this game is going to be comfortable, it's going to be a lot of running in the fourth quarter. So throw both of your backs in there and let them get a little bit of yards. I even would like Kenneth Gainwell in the pass game a little bit. I think his pass yards is 14. Did I see that correctly?
Let me see. 7.5 is Gainwell's receiving.
Okay.
Swift is 15.5.
Yeah. So Kenneth Gainwell.
I like that.
Just one catch out the backfield can get you that. So
yeah,
I like Kenneth Gainwell to get some receiving yards. Let's go to the next game. Giants, Bills. Giants 1-4, Bills 3-2. Like the Giants, it's disgusting at this point how bad that team is and how Daniel Jones actually looks in that game. Again, that game
is he playing?
Is he not? I didn't see him not playing.
I think he's injured.
Yeah, he is injured, but
because he has no offensive line, which does make me feel bad for him a little bit.
Giants.
Yeah, he's out.
Okay, he's out. It's a 14.5 spread at Buffalo. I ain't scared of that.
Not at all.
Let's get it. Let's get it. The Buffalo Bills coming off a loss. They're going to be pissed off.
Right.
They at home facing a Giants team that's hurt and beat up. No Daniel. Where's Saquon? This is going to be a butt whooping of epic proportions, in my opinion. Give me that 14.5. What y'all think?
I totally agree. I like the Bills. I like them covering. They're pissed out. Every point you just made, I'm only mad that I already used the Bills in my survivor pool because they're like my one sure lock this week. And I used the Dolphins already, so got to figure that one out. But yeah, I like the Bills in this one. I mean, the Giants are a mess, and they're playing in Buffalo, which we know is basically like diet Philadelphia. Like it's a good home field advantage. That crowd's gonna be wild. So yeah, I like the Bills.
They jumping through tables. They worse than Philadelphia.
Right, they're jumping through tables that are like literally on fire. So
yes, in 30-degree weather.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a bad day for who's ever playing quarterback.
Yeah, who is quarterback?
Tyrod Taylor?
Tyrod Taylor,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Tyrod Taylor, he's going to be running for his life. So I would go whatever his rushing yardage is. And, I mean, I understand that this Giants team played well last year. They showed who they really were towards the end of last year, though. But I just don't think they have enough to compete with a guy like Stephon Diggs being out there. Gabe Davis, I mean, they have really started to control their offense now. They can score on anybody now. So it'll be a long day for Tyrod Taylor, even though, he wants to come in. You want to think that he's going to win one for the Gipper. It's not happening. It'll be a bad day. I mean, the line is 14. Oh, they're going to crush that. Crush it. I don't know what the over is, but it's going to be definitely the over.
The over-under is 44.
That'll be tight. Cause
again, it's another game where it's like the Giants may not score.
Yeah,
just like when Miami is Buffalo gonna score 38-40, but
Miami could score that many points, but I don't know if the Bills necessarily have that mentality to keep scoring like that. They'll start running the ball with Cook and those guys, and Murray, rather than run the score up. We know that McDaniels he'll do it. He'll just run the score up just because he wants his guys to execute. They won't do that with the Bills. So Josh Allen, they'll take him out, or call the dogs off. Miami, they won't call the dogs off. So this team, they'll win. They'll go with the over. But I wouldn't go with the over as far as the points. I'd go with the under.
This is another game where I go, statistically, I don't know because it could be a blowout, right? Like Josh Allen's over under 263.5. You got to get that in 2.5 quarters.
Right.
If you don't, it's going to be run city, which is why I got James Cook going for over 58.5.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
Right.
I like that a lot.
It's going to be a lot of running the ball. It's going, if it's 2 touchdowns like we all think, James Cook. I would even bump that up. I know it's 58.5, but if you can get it for 75, if you can go 80, I would do those type of numbers just because he's going to get the rock a lot in this game.